So I just turned 21 recently. You know, I feel like there's a lot more weight on me and what I have to do with my life. The more I think about these things, the more I just keep thinking back to the year 2007. The year when everything was perfect, when I was just a little kid, and there were tons and tons of great movies coming out every single day. From Shrek 3 to Surf's Up, the one that peaks all of them is, of course, what the title of this video is, because you're fucking smart. It's Transformers, all right? What a great transition that was. I've been a Transformers fan since day fucking one. Michael Bay fan since day one. Shia LaBeouf. I like Shia LaBeouf as Sam Wookiee, okay, kill me. The Michael Bay Transformers fans are actually pretty fucking cool. They can respect true auteur cinema.
I am directly below. Enemy scrotum.
These movies are so personal to me that I deadass wrote a 4-page essay on it for my college English class 1 year ago, and I got 100% on it. Everyone else in my class is probably writing about the newest Greta Gerwig or Wes Anderson movie. Fuck that, man. I'm talking about Michael Bay-st. I feel like every critique I've ever heard about this movie is the exact same, you know, racist stereotypes, over-sexualization of female characters, the unfunny humor, but I absolutely adore every single thing that Michael Bay makes. Like, sure, not every single joke is gonna land, but like, you think when I'm watching a Martin Scorsese movie, I'm enjoying every single time he does a crash zoom or voiceover for the 374th time? Yes. Okay, that was a bad example, but you get what I'm saying. The strange quirks that directors have is what makes them interesting, and that creates art that inherently isn't going to appeal to everyone. Which is a good thing, because art that appeals to everyone is really just art that appeals to no one. Listen, I'm not saying that you can just take a picture of a piece of shit and call it art, because I'm not. It all really just comes down to personal preference and figuring out the kind of stuff that you vibe with and don't. No matter where you are, when you're first starting out, people are gonna doubt you. No one wants to give you any respect because they don't think that you've earned it yet. And I wish I had a better solution for this, but I don't, because I'm dealing with the same exact thing right now. I may be just 21 years old, but I'm constantly comparing myself to giants. And the problem is, when you're constantly comparing yourself to giants, you can't help but feel small. Bars. So anyways, short story long, I want to take a deeper look at one of my favorite directors and figure out why his Transformers movies are so hated from a filmmaking, storytelling, and personal perspective. I want to figure out why exactly people like to hate on Mikey Bay so much and love to count him out.
I love when you count me out. I love when you count me out. I love when you count me out.
The first argument that everyone always makes when they're criticizing these movies is that the human characters suck. Oh, that force battle was actually kind of sick, but why did we just get a close-up of John Turturro's ass?
What is that?
Because it's cinema. Most of the people that criticize the writing in these movies have never written or even read a full screenplay before, which is fine, but I just think people are way too quick to label things they don't like as bad writing without understanding that the metric they're using to grade it is inherently subjective. So what my dumbass did was I read the full script, you know, back when it was titled something like Prime Directive or some shit, and what I learned was that Samuel Witwicky is a way less interesting character on the page than how he is in the movie. It's an understatement to say just how much Shia LaBeouf added to this character, which on the page plays us very straight. There are a couple keys that add to what makes a great Michael Bay protagonist. We need an actor that's going to commit to the craziness and absolute insanity of whatever the hell Michael Bay wants, and just go fucking crazy like Will and Mark in Bad Boys, Marky Mark in The Rock in Pain and Gain, or fucking Jake Gyllenhaal in Ambulance. That's why you see Shia LaBeouf always screaming and improvising throughout the entirety of the film.
Whoa! Whoa! Ow! Ow! That alien's in here!
I'm telling you, no other actor could pull off the comedy, awkwardness, heart, and charm of Sam. The funniest parts of this movie come from all the insane improv that Shia did to make this character his own.
Nobody gets you stranded or anything. You sure? So listen, I was wondering if I could ride you home. Give you a ride home.
In the script, Sam's honestly a bit of a loser, but in the movie, he has this nervous swagger about him that's actually kind of hilarious.
I love you, and if you find busty beauties under my bed, it wasn't mine. I'm holding it for Miles. No, wait, that's not true. It's mine, and Uncle Charles gave it to me. I'm sorry. Mojo, I love you.
Also, Michaela is a way better written character in the movie than she is in the script. In the script, the writer does that annoying thing where he gives female characters dialogue that tells the audience exactly how she feels with zero subtlety. But Shia and Megan cut through all of that lame expositional dialogue and fill it in with sentiment and playful awkwardness that feel like things that actual teenagers would say to each other. Something that feels authentic. How's that take? Is that good? Finally, one good take? I mean, yeah, the movie's structure and character arcs aren't perfect, but it teaches you a lot about the importance of being a good friend to the people around you, which I think is a pretty cool lesson to learn as a kid. And you know, back in 2006, when Shia first got the part, the first thing Michael Bay told him wasn't to get ready for this big toy action movie. It was this.
When I first sat down with Mike, it was never the discussion of, let's talk about the robots. The first thing he wanted to talk about was, How do we make this real? How do we make these characters come across as honest?
I think I decided to make this video because part of me really does relate to Michael Bay in a lot of ways. I mean, we're both outsiders in the industry we're in, and I think for some reason both of us really want to call James Cameron dad. To make it in this industry, failing is the price of admission. It's important to remember that the objective of success isn't some superficial destination or bullshit reward at the end of a rainbow. It's a never-ending ladder filled with ups and downs, where you can only make it to the top because you've come from the bottom. Ever since he made his first movie back in 1995, people have been doubting him. And that's because we as humans love to judge people. We judge our friends, we judge our classmates, we judge the poor barista at Starbucks because she got our order wrong. It's because we like to feel superior to the people around us so that we're not reminded of how small and insecure we normally feel. And this goes double for the movie industry, bro. Trust me, 85% of what you're gonna hear on a film set is gossip slander. And the other 15, complete bullshit. So when you make a $200 million movie, people are almost rooting for it to fail. But the thing about Michael Bay that I respect so much is that no one has the cinematic eye that he does. How he visualizes shots and puts together action in the foreground, midground, and background. It's amazing. Michael Bay knows how to pull everything out of his actors. That's why he can make a movie look great with $20 million and $200 million. And you might be saying, oh, of course it looks good, Dylan. It cost $20 million. And to that, I'd say, look at the slop that Marvel and Disney Plus have been putting out lately. I could pull up quotes and interviews from people like Ridley Scott, James Cameron, Craig Mazin, Steven Spielberg, Anthony Hopkins, and even Shia LaBeouf. But it doesn't matter because your opinion was already set in stone even before you clicked on this video, right? They say that you're only as good as your last movie, so be ready to fail. And it takes a special kind of personality to face insurmountable scrutiny and failure and to keep pushing forward. It takes a special kind of person to motivate hundreds of people when they're on the other side of the fucking world into believing that what they're doing actually means something. And Michael Bay is that guy. But enough with me trying to get all deep and philosophical about Transformers 2. The movies are just fucking awesome. We all deal with these feelings of inadequacy in one way or another. You know, for me, I usually distract myself, but, you know, Michael Bay's got a big ass ego, which I think is a pretty cool form of protection in its own right. You know, recently one of my friends told me he thought that I was an egocentric. I don't believe him, but it made me think about how all of my favorite artists act. People like James Cameron, Martin Scorsese, Christopher Nolan, Nick Pizzolatto, Kanye West, and yeah, Michael fucking Bay. All of them get criticized by the media for having huge egos, which I mean, can you blame them? Life's hard and uncertain enough as it is, so why not believe in yourself? Because if you don't, then who else will? Listen, I'm not saying that you should just be an egotistical asshole to everyone because they don't matter, because I'm not. Like everything in life, it's a lot more complicated than that. The truth is, right now I feel stuck. I feel trapped in the same education system I was done with my last day of 5th grade. We're taught how to be a part of the 99% because we're told that the 1% is too far out of reach. But what if what we strive for is to be a part of that 1%? If you're a DP or an editor, I think you should go to film school. Work on other people's projects and exhaust yourself. But if you're a director, don't worry about it, man. Don't care what other people think, you know. Film with your iPhone, film with your friend's camera, film something, paint something, do something that only you can. I used to think that I had to do everything myself, but I don't. I just have to do a good job at what I'm good at. So that's the shit that I've been dealing with recently. And what's helped me the most is this idea of gratitude. Having my car stolen and my life turned upside down over the summer, it really put into perspective how many things in my life that I've been taking for granted. Like my health, my family, and my home. There's millions of people out there who have it a lot worse than me, you know? People who don't have the privilege of having their dream to be a part of the 1%.
The road to success is like Harold and the Purple Crayon. You draw it for yourself.
It's kind of corny as hell, but what I've realized lately is that life is a lot like water. One way or another, it's going to take you from one side to the other. So just remember that even if you're feeling completely out of place right now, along the path of life, nothing is lost. Most of the time when I get to the end of the year, I feel mostly indifferent, but still kind of optimistic about the coming year ahead. But this year's kind of just felt like one big bummer. Like a series of recurring L's that are only made worse by the fact that I was expecting them to be huge W's. It feels like every year that I don't accomplish my dreams is just another reminder of what a failure I am. And then I remember how James Cameron and Michael Bay were 29 when they merged. Fucking bitch! And then I remember how Michael Bay and James Cameron were both 29 when they made their first movies. Now, Kanye West was 27 when he finally dropped his first masterpiece of an album. So I guess what I'm saying is to stop and smell the roses. You don't need to feel like the world's ending every single time you fuck something up or let someone down. Just do whatever you think you'll regret the least and keep moving forward.
But also, why do you feel the need to call yourself that?
Because otherwise I'm called celebrity, I'm called nigger, I'm called rapper. So I have to define who I am. Let's start with this. I'm a creative genius.
You don't need to be liked by everyone. Because think about it. Do you like everyone that's around you? Fuck no, man. People are annoying. Respect is a two-way street that's not always going to be equal for you. Some people you'll meet in this world are really just going to be pricks. They'll dap up your homie next to you and then give you fucking nothing. But hey man, that's life. It's only through that awkward process of rejection and acceptance that you can find the people in your life that are actually special. So don't cry about the absurdity of the system and just learn to embrace it. Because once you do that, you can finally become free. So this is what I'm gonna do. If you guys subscribe, then I promise I'm gonna be giving you guys movies and videos that are unlike anything you've ever seen before. And that's gonna give me thousands of views and dollars and success beyond my wildest dreams. Now here's my video. Your ignorance? Psh, dream's dead. So the next time you see one of my videos in your feed and you're thinking about not clicking on it, ask yourself,
What would Jesus do?
because man, if this isn't nice, then what is?